And you can hurt people and you're not purposely trying to hurt people,
Mm-hmm.
but you just have to know that in relationships and defining who people are and what friendship is, there's no right, there's no wrong, it's just different. You just have to find out what those differences are and appreciate that people love you, but you just have to let them know what you're expecting and don't hold it against them if they can't give you what you're expecting because they don't have it in them. All right, ladies, happy Wednesday, elevators. Hopefully I'll be able to get through this without again being hoarse. I had a cold like all last week, and I told Sammy I was sounding like a 13-year-old boy going through puberty, going from a child to a man. It was just not good.
You sound much better today, I'll tell you.
You do a lot better.
So guys, welcome to episode 16 of our She Elevates podcast. I'm Gail, your personal development coach.
I'm Jessica, your financial strategist.
And I'm Tammy, your spiritual motivator.
And you guys met Antoinette live and in color, our producer, if you joined us at the vision board party on Saturday, which was absolutely fire. And so if you missed it, go back and check it out. But so how are you ladies feeling today? Miss Jessica, just getting back from Jamaica.
I'm feeling great. Jamaica was really fun. Very, very nice. So listen, I wish I can go back. Lay on the beach, and it was so peaceful laying on the beach at night, you guys, and just looking up at the stars. I think that was my most peaceful moment there.
Wow.
It was beautiful.
That sounds peaceful. Just listen to the waves.
Yes.
Nothing like a nice little getaway.
I know, but you ladies went to like New York. I mean, come on. Vacating.
We did
it wasn't Jamaica, but we did take a day trip.
No, we're going to have fun whatever we do. Yes. So to that, we did that on Wednesday. A nice, quick bus trip there.
Because that's what you can do when you're retired. You can go places on Wednesday.
On Wednesday. You guys hear that? It wasn't Friday or Saturday.
They just pop up and go on trips. I got to plan stuff. I mean, I'm just saying.
But that was amazing, walking around in New York, being there, amen. Of course, the Broadway musical of Tina Turner was wonderful.
Amazing.
Oh my goodness. And, it was just good fun, good. It was a nice getaway there. So yeah, we're doing great. We're all ready to jump in here today after that amazing vision board party. We were so motivated, appreciative of all the elevators that showed up, and it was so engaging, sharing. I was even motivated to start a vision board for my family. So I'll go from a personal vision board to a family vision board. And every time I see them, it's like, don't forget, this is our vision. Keep adding to it. So it was great. I really appreciate it. So excited to get started today.
Yes,
all right.
I love it.
So let's jump in. Last week we talked about manifesting your vision. So our elevators can level up in 2022. So catch that. This week we're talking about having conversations with our girlfriends and whether or not we should limit what we share, or who should we vent to? Should we vent to them? Like, is something ever too personal? Do we share if we're having relationship issues at home? And if not them, then who are we confiding in? So today we're going to get into the dark side of female relationship or female friendship. I know, right? So studies have shown that at a very early age, like we as children, females, we develop a culture of judgment. We gossip, we form cliques, and we're really harsh to each other. And, on the flip side of that, in our later years, like us baby boomers, our girlfriends tend to thrive beyond women who don't have friends. So we thrive more than women who don't have friends. So girlfriends become more of a asset when you're older than when you're younger. It's a whole lot of cattiness. And for me, like as long as I can remember, I've always had a number of girlfriends, but I also remember that I like internalize a lot of things. So I didn't necessarily share my business with them. And it wasn't because I was like so smart when I was young. And it's just that back then I thought I could solve problems on my own. And I really didn't need other people. Looking at my mom was like a superwoman complex, and she like, we can figure it out. We can do this, like we don't really need a whole lot of people. And that wasn't necessarily a good thing, but that's just how my environment was. And so what I found like growing up is that when you have friends who tell you other people's business, more than likely you're not exempt and they're telling other people your business as well. And so for me now, I'm very, very intentional about who I'm around. I make sure I'm around people who are positive and they strive to be better versions of themselves, and they build other people up like elevators instead of tearing them down. So elevators, chime in and let us know in the comments some of your experiences. And ladies, what have been your experiences and advice about how much to share with a girlfriend and when you should and shouldn't vent to girlfriends?
So I'll go first, Tammy, if
Okay.
it's okay with you.
Absolutely.
So I think now, even though I'm not a baby boomer, I've definitely lived life long enough to know who to vent to, who not to vent to, and more so of a sisterhood and life experience taught me that because I had a best friend who I confided almost everything to. I mean, we confided in each other. Like we had a lot of different similarities that we shared. And so when we was going through tough times, whether it was in our life, overall relationships, whatever, we shared it with each other. And then our friendship reached this rocky point I dare not to go into. But after we parted ways from our friendship, there were certain things that only she knew that I heard and came back to me, and it broke my heart. Like it was almost that feeling of death. um I was crushed because although we weren't friends, well, although we wasn't communicating anymore, she still was a friend to me. And then just to hear that come back to me, I was like, oh my God, like it really took a part of me. So I've realized now, like you have to be sure about the people that God has placed in your life to actually vent to. So it's still that kind of a fine line, like who can I truly be vulnerable with? But building the relationships that I have now, I feel like that relationship was built off a lot of things we shared together throughout relationships that were toxic as well. And so now I try to be around more positive women, not to say you can't speak to me about any toxic situations that comes into your life, come in and out of your life. It's just that we have to have more in common than just toxic situations. So I've definitely learned a life lesson from that. So building a sisterhood, making sure God is in the midst of it all, of course, is one of the sure ways that I find myself in before I can actually vent to a person. And then again, it's levels to it. So you're not just gonna know all of my business from the jump like that.
I call that
Absolutely.
wisdom.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
yes.
Jessica, just listening to you. So I think that you of course we're careful about who we select as friends, but sometimes you don't know how that a person would do that until they do it. And it could
Until they
not,
do
it could be that it doesn't manifest until years later. So
it.
I don't know that, that wasn't necessarily a relationship that God sent you, because it could be something that you needed at that time. But
Exactly.
some things are temporary.
Exactly.
And then,
Be
it's
hurtful.
time to move on. And so,
Exactly.
yeah, I agree. Just get the lesson every time, and know when you get the trigger to move on.
Exactly. It's part of growth.
I
Yeah.
like that, Gail. That's a
Yeah.
good one. The trigger to move on. That's a good one, because we definitely I agree about seasons, and we use that when we're talking about relationships, right? You're saying some people are here for a season, some are here for reasons, but I like Gail's point is get the lesson out of it all.
Mhm.
It can be hurtful, right? I just believe that when you get to a certain point in your life, you've experienced it, because, it's a part of, Gail said, the makeup of a female, and especially, well, for most females, I won't say for all. So I believe that either you have been, someone has vented to you, or you vented to someone, and then, it can just, again, come back around, and it's about the comeback, right? What was the motive, and how is that being used? Is it used to help me, or are you trying to harm me? Or you're talking about me to get some advice from someone, or are you trying to use me as a way to get into someone else's, world? Because, sometimes that happens. I want to connect with you, so I'll use Jessica as, because I don't think we have anything in common, and I won't just allow our relationship to be organic and to form organically. So then I'll start, doing some chatty stuff about Jessica, because I know. But and I think you said something immature, childish, right? And at some point we have to grow up, and we have to understand what's hurtful, because my husband has a phrase, hurting people hurt people. So if the intent, again, I'm really big on the motive, really big on the intention, and that's important to me. So it has happened to me, and yeah, it does hurt when you find out. It's like, I know I'm taking, without trying to go all the way back down memory lane, but I remember sitting somewhere, and then, I felt like the he said. So we get to too many saids. He said, she said, that you said, that I said. I'm like, oh my God, this is like high school here. Or, someone said something, and now I'm going to use that against you, or I'm going to use what you said in
And it
private.
becomes hurtful though.
It was very hurtful. Yeah. And so but again, it happened, even, and I'm speaking on adulthood, because sometimes, it takes us a while to grow up emotionally, mentally. While we have that number attached to us, some of us, it again, takes a while. So it has happened. And again, I like Gail's point is get the lesson out of it. You deal with it, you own it, like, oh my God, that hurt me. Okay. And I do a lot of, praying and soul searching. And, but I will say this, and then I'll pass the mic. Being that while I had my immediate family, I have one sister, and my mother was big on communication. I mean, we'd sit at the table, we be on the bed, and we'd just be talking and going in deep about situations and things of how you felt, or how she felt about it, what you had done. And then that even extended to her sisters, because she's from a large family. So I'm a product of women venting,
Mhm.
to each other. I was there when and my mother and her older sister, they were like, each other's therapy for real. They would, use each other as sounding boards, right? So then you hear it, and I'm going, was she talking about me to my aunt, and then my aunt's giving her advice. So I'm used to that. Again, it was about the motive. And then
Yeah.
sometimes, hey, my aunt would come to me. I'm like, I was talking to him. Okay, so then it's like, so I can't tell you nothing, but you can't say that to your mother, right? But really,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it was all love. It was about the love and it's about the motive. So I kind of grew up again around a lot of females, very vocal, and we're all in it together. We're going to get in there and solve each other's problems. So,
And that's it. I just think the downside to it within like friendships or outside of family, and sometimes it can be in family, when you go through those different emotions of betrayal, it starts to bring about trust issues within different relationships. And so honestly, there's no right way or no way to say, hey, don't vent to that person, don't vent to that person. Life is about lessons, bottom line. So allow life to teach you as you go through life, because for some friendships apparently aren't meant to last forever. So
That's good, Jessica and Tammy.
This episode is brought to you by MWR Financial. MWR Financial stands for Make Wealth Real. With all that's going on in the economy, listen, we need experts who are going to work on our behalf. Experts who know exactly what's going on in this economy and who can actually help you overcome the challenges that we all are facing. If you're needing an expert that assists you with getting your credit scores up, getting your debt down, getting your income up, and most of all, helping you get out of debt, MWR is the company you would want to speak with. Let our experts help you with growing your financial portfolio. Visit www.mwrfinancial.com/She Elevates. Again, allow the team of experts to help you with whatever financial challenges that you're having right now. Again, visit www.mwrfinancial.com/She Elevates. She Elevate cares about your finances as well as we care about empowering as so many women as we do.
Tammy, to go back to what you said, I love that I think that's something people should consider. I love that you guys had this open communication in your home. When you were younger, it was the opposite of that in my house. We don't talk about anything. And I mean, to the point where like, when I remember it was just me and my sister also, like you and Renee. And when it was time to have the talk, mother gave us encyclopedias.
oh my God.
Well, it was like, it's something that's going to interest y'all in there. You know what I mean? So there was no open communication in my home. So I just thought that was interesting. You always have to consider things. And to your point, Jessica, you can't really tell who to vent to. Well, one thing that I think that we should be aware is that when we're venting to somebody, we're passionate, we're talking about, what's top of mind for us and what has just happened. Well, when people hear things, they're just hearing that. I think until and we've always heard there are always two sides to a story.
Absolutely.
Unless they were a fly on the wall and they know about your history and everything about you and everything that transpired in that event, are they really able to give some sound advice or some wisdom about the situation? Because they're just hearing one side of the story.
Exactly.
So I think when we're just aware of that, that kind of helps in venting to people because they're hearing your passion. People love you and they see that you're hurt and they're all in your court. So it's not like they don't love you, but it's like they really don't have the whole story.
Exactly.
Right. That's a good one because there's something called counseling, right? And then there's therapy. And so what are we really expecting, right, from a non-professional or someone a friend who has not? And how about, as you said it, be mindful. I feel that if you've never been in this situation, right, you can tell me what you think you would do.
Mm.
But I'm really careful but if I find there's a commonality, Gail and I, we have boys. I mean, Gail had the first son and I kind of watched her. I'm like, okay, so he just failed. She didn't panic. Okay. But I knew I could, talk. We got this thing going with our boys because we have that in common. So Jessica has a daughter. So we think the girls are all cute. Jessica can add to that. And Gail and I, you can see, we just think it's all cute. But they may be able to talk to each other, right, about those things. So you find commonalities.
Exactly.
Right? So it is being very, very and mindful and being strategic about who you're talking to. Yes, I believe, the scripture says that the older women shall teach the younger women. So there are certain things that we've gone through in life that we, as an older woman can help a younger woman, right? So it's all of that. I love that Jessica says again, we're still about embracing sisterhood, embracing friends. And I am big on, forgiveness and patience and long suffering. So it's hard for me to just write somebody off again. But you're from a large family. You don't get to just write them off because they show up again next year.
Exactly. And
so
then
I show up again.
I also notice, like, when people do things, you don't say or beat yourself up about it, because truthfully speaking, it's not even about you. It's about them. They're going through something in their lives. So it's not even about you. And so, because that same person who I considered a friend, she can call me today or tomorrow if she needed something.
If she really
and I had it, I'll give it to her. That's just the person that I am. So you have to respect people in their season as well.
I love that. I just thought about that. Can I just say this, Gail? When to get Jessica's point, in one of the situations that I'm thinking about now, and when the person was, whatever, using something I said, right, in private and was making this thing public, I was like stunned. And then it was, you know what, calm down. Don't say anything. This is not your issue. This is her issue. So I can stand on what I said. I was like, yeah, and let me tell you why I said it also, right? But they didn't want to have a conversation about it. Oh, so you're coming for me. Oh my God. So then that human side, y'all know I'm from DC, right? South. Yes, I'm the church girl, but oh my God, I wanted to stand up. But it was like God was like sitting on me, and I was like, ugh. And then I just kind of held my hands down, and I was doing all this, and then, eventually. So I love that fact, that you said, we just have to recognize it's not you really, it's them. And you learn from it all. So we've got a lot here, Gail, from this whole, just that one question you asked, it was learn from it all. Consider the upbringing, consider the background. What's the motive? Oh my God. And then
all that comes with growth though, Tammy.
It all of that comes with growth.
It does. The younger me, that right leg get to jumping. Cause it ready to stand up.
Wait, no, you take the earrings off, right?
I'm not taking no earrings off. I'm on go. But that all comes with
maturity and growth.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It does.
And that's what we're here to do. We're here to elevate, which is growth, right? To encourage our sisters, right? Be mindful of what you share to someone in private, and then in return to the hearer, the receiver, be mindful of how you use that information, because we're talking about, when someone has used something that you said to really kind of hurt you. So that's not an elevator. Your motive is to hurt another sister. That's wrong, because you're hurt. To Jessica's point, hurting people hurt people. So I just want us to be mindful of why we're doing what we're doing, and don't do it just to get your point, because I think it was Antoinette was sharing. We had that, statement there where it was being used, right, to make a point. Well, I don't know if you need to use my pain to make your point when I'm there, So yeah, come on, elevators. We got to do better, and we can do it.
And that's good. This is so good. But also just to get back to that point of hurt people, and that it's not about you. So just to put another little twist on that, and it's all about communication. So all of this is tying together for me because I had a girlfriend who I did hurt. And I didn't hurt her purposefully. I didn't even know I hurt her. But I had to have a conversation with her, communication, like you said, Tammy. And I just let her know, her definition of a friend was very different from my definition of a friend. And what she needed from a friend, I wasn't giving to her because that wasn't my DNA. Like I didn't grow up in a house where we were communicating and we were hugging and we were all touchy feely and I'm gonna talk to you every day. But we loved each other. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm treating you as I know, and you're hurt because you feel like I don't love you because I'm not hugging you or I'm not talking to you all the time or those things that you're used to. So I think communication is important, and you can hurt people and you're not purposely trying to hurt people, but you just have to know that in relationships and defining who people are and what friendship is, there's no right, there's no wrong, it's just different. You just have to find out what those differences are and appreciate that people love you, but you just have to let them know what you're expecting and don't hold it against them if they can't give you what you're expecting because they don't have it in them.
Yes, you got to embrace the difference. You got
embrace the difference.
Because I'm the type of friend that I don't have to talk to you every day. Mm-hmm. I can go without talking to a friend for 30 days and pick up right where we left off. So you have to, and I've experienced that within relationships, and kind of the same with you, Gail. Like in growing up in my household, we would never just like hug on each other and all of that. So as I got older, it was almost foreign to me, but I started to like it. So I'm a hugger now, and I make sure I love on my kids. My mama didn't like hug on us and all of that stuff. Kiss on us, but I'm forever hugging and kissing on my kids or whatever, because I found out, okay, I like this. But I've experienced friendships where they thought that I had to speak with them every day. And I'm like, I got a whole life over here. I got 2 kids over here. I'm trying to run a business. I can't talk to you every day. And so,
and it's not even because you're mad at them.
No, it's not.
It's a life.
It's life. So when I pick up that phone, I can pick up exactly where we left off, and then we can talk about everything that happened within that time frame.
That's right.
That is connection. That's how I define connected sisters, right? When they can pick up where we left off. Again, I thought about an incident where that I had, and I later found out that my friend, my sister, she was offended or hurt by my actions, but it was my upbringing, and we had an open discussion about it because again, we the talkers. We got to come to the table. Come here. Let's talk about this, right? I mean, you walk in the door and you like, what we talking about? Well, this happened and this is how she felt and why. And then it's a whole 3-hour conversation, 4 hours. But anyway, so something happened and I thought, well, let's bring it to the table. Let's talk about it. So I brought it to the table and I tried to have everybody engaged, and it was like, how dare you pull these other people in? And I'm going, because I wanted another opinion. I didn't want it just to be the 2 of us. So in my mind, but it was what I was used to in my upbringing. And they were not used to that, right? They wanted it just to be the 2 of us. And why do you have? So we had but I love it, Gail. It was the open communication. Now it took some time because she was offended and she kind of had to step back, but it was just because I never felt, because I know my motives, right? And it wasn't to hurt her or anything like that. Yeah. But eventually we were able to talk about it and, just reconnect. And so that communication, you guys, is critical. So key. It is so critical. I heard this, you guys. This is not a coincidence. Let me see if I can remember it all. But Mike Tyson, it's a clip where Mike Tyson is either being interviewed by another young man. And he said, like, when people do something to the interviewer, was saying when people do something to him, that's a wrap. It's over. Like that relationship is over. And Mike says, then the devil wins. And he said, what? I said, I'm just supposed to forgive them. He said, if not, you've allowed that situation to change who you are. You were controlled by that situation, right?
Wow.
So really showing how that enemy, wants to divide us, wants to, bring that confusion and discord. So don't be controlled by that one incident. I got another one. Bishop Nelson says, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I know that's a phrase I'm sure that others have said, but when I heard him say it, I'm like, oh my God, how we just want to wipe you up. I'm done. Can't. It's like, no, there's still a lot of good in this relationship, right? So
yeah, you gotta put the work in, to your point, not just girls friendships, but all types of relationships. You have to put the work in because we're all unique individuals.
Oh my God, yes. And we are so different, the diversity that we have, but that's what makes it exciting, right?
Exactly.
I think that's what makes She Elevates exciting, because just like Gail has her personality, I have mine, Jessica has hers, Antoinette. But if you want everybody to be like you, then I don't know that you're she's like, how boring is that?
It really is, Jessica.
It's like being in the sandbox by yourself. Y'all doing
yeah.
I might be bored and I need some excitement in my life, or vice versa.
Get something to get your juices flowing, and then and sometimes those things challenge you. I think we said it at the beginning. Look at it as an opportunity for you to grow within yourself, because I had to do some soul searching. I'm telling you, I was in that moment. It was like, I didn't say anything, and I'm such a come back. I got the clap back, and I was like, whoa. I was just proud of myself. They don't even know for not saying anything,
I love that. Yeah. I love looking at it as an opportunity to grow. And just real quick, we're going to close out with this. But one thing that we did, Jessica, me and Tammy, we had this before COVID. We had this whole group of girls. We had this text, and we would go out and do things, but we would give everybody the opportunity to pick what they wanted to do, because everybody was so different. So everybody might not want to jump out of a hot air balloon like me.
Definitely want to do that. FYI.
Oh, like I did that. My sister, she wanted to go bowling. That's her thing. Tammy, and I'm gonna throw you under the bus, because Tammy wanted to go horseback riding. We haven't been on a horse yet. I'm just saying.
Horseback riding. COVID. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. COVID.
So, but just saying that to say, we allowed other people to be diverse and give us the opportunity to grow and do things that we wouldn't have necessarily chosen to do, but just to grow and nurture our relationship with our girlfriends.
Yes, I love it.
God, that's beautiful. Yeah. You know what, girl? I was somewhere, and oh gosh, I was riding in a car, and they said, "Look at those horses." Oh, I want to ride a horse. I was like, "Oh yeah, I was supposed to plan a horse," and I did. So it's not over.
It's not over. We just haven't done it yet.
We haven't done it yet. We're getting on those horses, right? Absolutely. Yes, we are. But I love that, Gail. You're right. It was so diverse. We were just like, whatever it is you want to do, we're going to do it. Yeah, that's wonderful. Wonderful.
Yes.
So ladies, just let's just try not to be mindful, right? Of how we repeat or use something when someone has vented to you or to us, right? Let's be very intentional about their feelings and what we do with that information, because they trust us, right?
And know when to pivot. If you vent it to somebody else and you hear it again, okay, that's cross them off the list. That's not your safe place
at all. And speaking of pivoting, we're gonna pivot into What's the Fuss, where I'm telling people business.
What's the foolery today, y'all? What's going on?
This is actually something about the U.S. Postal Service.
Are you kidding?
I knew it today. Shocking. But the comments about took me out. But United States Postal Service postal workers reportedly stole thousands of credit cards from the mail as part of a $750,000 identity theft ring. said that the USPS is often hit with a lot of criticism due to slower speed in comparison to rival delivery services. And this latest news would definitely make the criticism even stronger. According to reports, 4 USPS postal workers reportedly stole over 1,000 credit cards from the mail in conjunction with the $750,000 identity theft ring. At New York Post reports 13 people, 9 outside suspects, and 4 USPS postal workers, including 3 from New York City, were recently indicted by the Manhattan Supreme Court on a host of charges, including conspiracy and grand larceny. The USPS workers are accused of stealing thousands of credit cards from personal mail to support a $750,000 identity theft crime ring. Their crimes allegedly took place between January 2017 and August 2019, as specified by the Manhattan DA office. The named postal workers in the indictment from New York were identified. Looks to be a young lady and 3 men between the ages of 25 and 36. They stated that the leader of the organization, said to be a 37-year-old, who allegedly swiped more than 1,000 credit cards, that were then used by other co-conspirators to buy a large collection of high-end goods at luxury retailers. The district attorney's office stated via press release that that person paid the mail carriers different amounts depending on how well the cards they stole performed. Oh my God. And then somebody put in the comments, we can't even trust the mailman.
Wow.
We can't even trust the mailman.
That is huge. That was wow. They took a long time to plan that, I'm assuming.
Yes.
And that ring was huge. So they had the postal workers stealing the cards and giving it to them. I'm sure they got some kind of kickback. But it just reminded me of that movie Identity Theft. And then you charging up all this stuff. Wow. People always trying to come up without doing the work.
Yes. Don't nobody want to do the work. And the fact that they go to high-end retailers purchasing stuff.
Well, I ain't mad at that.
I'm mad at it. Stop it. Yes, we are. All for a purse? What are you trying to get? Some tennis shoes? What are you getting? A sweatsuit? These millennials. I'm just like, you know what? I think we need to.
Sammy, you're not going to throw us under the bus like that. Antoinette, come on.
25,
all millennials.
36.
Not one of them was a baby boomer. There was no wisdom in that group.
I'm just saying. Jessica, you need to talk to your peers. You say it's not worth it, y'all. Tell them they can be an entrepreneur.
Not worth it.
They can start their own business. They would feel so much better about themselves.
You know what? Clearly, they're business minded.
Yes, they had a whole.
You know what I mean?
A whole ring going here.
They have team building skills. We just need to redirect some of that energy.
Look, incentives going. If you stole the highest amount of card, then you get such and such. Like,
oh my goodness,
they were business minded.
Oh my goodness, yeah. After they, after they go to jail, yeah.
Or while they're in jail.
Well, they need some rehabilitation, right? Because that just like, wow. That's the postal service now. Wow.
And Gail, did you state one time before somebody stole your tickets or something?
Girl,
we're not. There's a reason why we're laughing. Gail, go ahead and tell the story.
So I actually got my Wizards basketball team season tickets mailed to me every year because I was a season ticket holder for over 10 years. And it was fine. They would mail my tickets. But this one year, my tickets didn't show up. And I called, the sales rep. And they were like, well, I sent it. And I said, you know what? I know this postal worker probably took my tickets because people don't steal your stuff around here. And lo and behold, people were showing up at the game. I don't know if he's resold the tickets or just gave them to people or whatever, but they were sitting in my seats when I got to the game. And I was so confused. I was like, wait, what? And they had my tickets, Jessica, when I looked at their tickets, it was my season tickets that they had because I had to get a copy made. You know, they had to remake my tickets.
Yeah.
But the season ones I specially made, and they had my season tickets. I'm like, the devil, it's a liar. So, and then there were times when me and Tammy was sitting in the seats because I had to drag my girl with me. Me and Tammy sitting there, and security come tapping us on our shoulder. Ma'am, can you come with us? Like we had stole the tickets. I was like, that whole season was absolutely nuts and crazy. So yeah, somebody's out there wreaking havoc, stole my tickets, either reselling them and I never found out who it was, but yeah. I had to get a lot of comps. I got a lot of comps that year because they was really inconveniencing me. I was like,
you know what?
I'm missing the game with this foolishness.
See, that's when you know that lemon will become lemonade, but you also got to keep the right attitude because Gail was a little, she a little upset. See, that little sweet, don't let that pretty smile fool you. So I am, the whole experience just to be a part of the Wizards games and be there with her in the arena. And when that happened, I'm still laughing. I'm still going, so wait a minute, what just happened? These are your seats, right? And we have to get up now.
I want them to be on my side. I feel like I paid so much money for these tickets. I want y'all to be on my side. Don't beat me up.
It was like we had to go to court, Jessica, right in the middle of the game. And guess what? I'm standing there. And then, I get with her. These are tickets. These are seats. And finally, she had to show her driver's license. Yes. She had to go through all this. And then finally, okay, you can go ahead and be seated. She is like, thank you. Then we go back like,
What the other people do, y'all? Look, that's so messy. What the other people do?
But you know what? Because we were season ticket holders, they knew us. So they knew they were our seats. Oh, but one time, did they try to fuss Tammy?
So one time, that's why I thought that whoever took the tickets must have been selling these tickets because sorry Jessica, it was little millennials. They had no clue. And they looked like my aunt gave me these tickets. My aunt gave me these tickets.
Who was your aunt? Give me her name.
And so we believe that they sold the tickets, right, to random people, and then someone gave the tickets to her nephews as a gift or whatever. Poor little nephew just sitting there enjoying the game, and so he was confused. He was like,
"Tap on your shoulder, come with me, sir."
Yeah. So that was his story, Jessica. That's the one time I could say when some they would just get up, wouldn't they? They were like,
they already know they wrong.
They already knew.
Oh my God.
But yeah, okay. Can't trust the postal service.
Can't trust the postman. The next topic I have is little saddened, but civil rights attorney Ben Crump is representing the family of an ex-NFL player, Glenn Foster Jr., rest in peace, who passed away in police custody, Alabama police custody. States that Ben Crump has been hired to represent the family for former New Orleans Saints player Glenn Foster Jr., who passed away earlier this week in police custody in Alabama. According to Revolt TV? Yeah, Revolt TV. Attorney Crump announced Friday that he would not let police use Glenn's NFL size to justify his death. The fact is that he was subdued in handcuffs and posed no risk. There's no reason why he was alive in police custody, and 16 minutes later, he was dead, Attorney Crump said. We will not rest until we get answers and justice for Glenn Foster Jr. and his distraught family. Currently, Glenn's death remains under investigation. It's just so sad to always now seems to be more and more like common now for us to see our Black men being arrested and even dying at the hands of police. So, or while in police custody, because as of right now, we don't know exactly what happened in this case, but it really does sadden my heart to hear and see so many of these cases more and more frequently.
It really is tragic. I can't even believe, because I'm a rose-colored glass person, but I know glasses person, but I know these things happen, but it's just like, to your point, Jessica, they're happening. So I don't know that it's happening more frequently, or is it that we have phones now,
The
and people
social
are
media.
catching it more. But yeah, it's tragic that after all of this time, we're still victims of this kind of activity. You know, it's like no matter how far we get, are we really progressing?
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. So this is, what I guess really triggered, right? The Black Lives Matter movement. It's like, okay, we got it. All lives matter. But right now, it seems like this is happening to our people too often. So it's like,
Absolutely.
we're important, and there's a law, there's a justice system to handle crime. You just don't murder people. And so like you said, prayers up for the family, and praying that justice will be served. So that's very sad.
Yeah.
And I also want to send prayers up for Nick Cannon and his family as well on the loss of his son. So I hope you go out to them.
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that to our attention, Jessica, because we definitely need to be praying for these guys.
Absolutely.
And their families.
Yeah, thinking about PFOS, right? That's what one reason why we have a group where we pray for our sons. And it's all about the males. And the more I hear about these things, the more it just makes me more adamant about praying for our sons in this time.
Absolutely.
So elevators, make sure you guys email us. If you have sons, email us your son's name so they can be a part of this as well.
Yeah, but our list is Tammy prays the first of every month. And we have a list of names we add to the list. I think we're almost up. We're a little over 380 names. Wow. And I actually call those names off. So it's almost like a graduation ceremony where you call off names. Awesome. I call off every name, and then Tammy prays for all of them. And just to give a quick testimony, since we started, I don't know how many years it's been, but every name that's on that list is still on the list. We haven't had to remove somebody because of death or anything like that. So yeah, y'all want to get y'all sons' names added to that list.
Yeah, I know. I think when we went live, it was on the first, and I heard you guys saying something about the list. I was like, add my son.
Yes, and that's what happens, and that just shows you that you're a woman of faith and you believe in the power of prayer, right?
Absolutely.
And that's our PFOS. And we say that, I love acronyms. That's PFOS, praying for our sons. So please, I love it. Thank you, Gail, for sharing that testimony, because that's the one we give every month. And it's like, so please, if you have a son or nephew or godson or friend or neighbor, send us their names and we'll add them to the list, and we'll definitely call them their names out.
Even your man, he's somebody's son.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth.
Trust me, Jessica, you're not by yourself. Someone said, well, I'm going to put my husband on the list, and I'm going to put my uncle on. I'm like, I'll just go right ahead.
That's right. He's somebody's son.
That's right.
It's going to be PFOM, praying for our men, right? I'm just saying. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
So thanks, guys. So we're going to come with our execution steps. We want to leave you guys with 3 ways to have more meaningful relationships with your girlfriends. So 1 is to say goodbye to toxic relationships. And, of course, it's easier said than done, but there were some good times in those relationships. But we talked about a time and a season for everything. And toxicity is unhealthy, and you have to cut off the friendship and move on. Number 2 is be a safe space for your girlfriends. Be that person. Allow her to express honest impressions, thoughts, attitudes, whatever, without fear or ridicule, and be open-minded. That's important. Don't judge. And just empathize with her feelings, and even if especially if they're different from yours. And then, more importantly, don't repeat what you've heard. So be that safe space for your girlfriends. And the last one is drop some pearls, girls. Women have more in common than we have different, and can offer wisdom to younger women that could potentially change their lives for the better. So drop some pearls. So those are our 3 execution steps. And the quote of the day it was from somebody unknown. It says, a friend is someone who understands your past, believes in your future, and accepts you just the way you are.
Ooh.
So that's
Of unknown quote. I
know,
love it.
wow.
Understanding,
It's not.
believing, and accepting.
Yes.
I'm just saying. Okay, ladies. Well, that's it. Any final words?
We just got
This
another
was
one
good. I'm so
today.
glad that we had this conversation, you know, just because it's about she elevates. And I like it, Gail started out, she said, we're going to talk about the dark side. But those
dark
are
side of
sometimes,
friendship.
you know, the challenging times or points in the relationship that we don't always talk about. So this has been good because it's all about growth. So thank you so
Exactly.
much. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Love it,
We're
love it.
going to get there. We're going to do better, be
Absolutely.
better.
Yeah, I think we
have
got our title, The Dark Side of Friendship.
It's real. It happens. It happens.
Ooh.
It happens.
But
Okay,
remember,
well,
what did Al Green say? Let's stay together.
I told y'all she looking for somebody to find her.
I'm going to get through a podcast without singing.
Try it. It just came out. That was a download.
We'll take it. We'll take it. All right, guys. Well, make sure you tune in next week, and we will see you and have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.